England's Mistress, The Infamous Life of Emma Hamilton, by Kate Williams. Read by Sophie Ward. I love him. I adore him. My mind and soul is now transported with the thought of that blessed ecstatic moment when I shall see him, embrace him. I must sin on and love him more than ever. It is a crime worth going to hell for. Emma Hamilton, on Nelson, 1804. Prologue. Model, courtesan, dancer, fashion icon, actress, double agent, political hostess, mother, ambassadress, and hero's mistress, Emma Hamilton performed many roles in her astonishing rise from poverty to wealth and fame. None would have greater consequence for her than the part she played in Naples on the 22nd of September, 1798. She had joined the welcome party for Rear Admiral Horatio Nelson as his fleet anchored off the Bay of Naples. Nelson had come to protect Naples from the advancing French, and the Neapolitans were determined to give him a welcome fit for a hero. Rehearsals had been going on for weeks, but no one had been practicing as carefully as Emma Hamilton. Ravishingly beautiful, and still only 33, she knew that Nelson's arrival was her great chance. Her life would never be the same again. 5 years earlier, on Nelson's first visit to the city, Emma had hardly noticed the unprepossessing naval captain. By 1798, after his amazing success at the Battle of the Nile had made him the one man who seemed able to save Europe from Napoleon, she saw his arrival as an opportunity to propel herself onto a bigger stage. Nelson was exhausted after weeks of fighting the French and in pain from his shot eye and the wound where his right arm had been amputated. As soon as the great man boarded the welcome boat, Emma threw herself upon him, weeping with happiness. To the sounds of cheers and cannon fire resounding across the bay, she gathered Nelson into her arms, and leaving the dumbfounded royal entourage and her husband, Sir William Hamilton, in her wake, supported the triumphant but exhausted hero into the ship's cabin. The man fated as England's bravest man had collapsed onto the bosom of Europe's biggest female celebrity. Emma Hamilton was already legendary as the girl from nowhere who had catapulted herself into high society. Her consummate piece of stage management on that July day marked the start of her passionate affair with Nelson, and the beginning of her ascent to a level of fame we would find breathtaking even today. How did Emma, a girl born into terrible poverty and exploitation, reach the position where she was able to seduce and charm England's most famous man? What did she have to do to get there? If it were fiction, the tale of Emma's life would be dismissed as improbable. Following her takes us through the grand sweeps of 18th century history to reveal all the glory and horror of her age. To understand how Emma turned herself into the most famous woman of her time, we must go back 30 years and more than 1,000 miles from the glittering Neapolitan court and the duties of an ambassador's wife to her poverty-stricken birth in the slums of northwest England. Part 1. Battle to Escape. Chapter 1. Harsh Beginnings. Emma Hamilton was born Amy Lyon on Friday the 26th of April, 1765, into squalid poverty. Ness was a ramshackle huddle of 30 or so miners' hovels, set in scrubby, stony, infertile land. Moored on the Wirral Peninsula in Cheshire, just over 12 miles from Liverpool, the village now gleams with luxurious houses for commuters. But for a girl child in the 18th century, it was a one-way ticket to misery. The Stanley family, the owners of the area around Ness, reclined in elegant splendour at nearby Houghton Hall, ignoring the miners and the few fishermen scraping out a miserable living by the bleak shore.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?